Hi friends, welcome to the 8th house and 8th lord. Alright, so what results you can expect when the 8th lord is in, a certain house. So it's about 8th house in all 12 houses of your birth chart. Alright, friends, what is the 8th house? The 8th house is the house of secrecy. Okay, even darkness, sorrow, pain, sudden events. So it is also the house of transformation. It is the house of death, also rebirth. Okay, now 8th house in your birth chart is regarded to be a malefic house, a so-called malefic house, a dusthana. But it is also a house which can, make you or which has certain significations which are very positive. Because this house is connected to research, investigation, to the occult. Okay? So these things are also connected to the 8th house. The natural lord of the 8th house is Mars, because we have the sign of Scorpio there in the chart of the cosmic man. Alright, Mars, the planet of transformation and sudden events. And the significator of the 8th house is planet Saturn. Alright, so Mars and Saturn, they are deeply connected to the 8th house. And Saturn here, which is the significator, so that is why 8th house can signify death, longevity and other things. Alright. Now friends, Saturn and Mars, both these two planets are connected to analysis, even in-depth research also. Let's move on to what will happen when the 8th lord is in a certain house in your birth chart. Okay. So when the 8th lord is in your first house or second house, like that. Sometimes the 8th lord may also be the 3rd lord in your chart. Okay? Then 3rd house is also the house of efforts, hard work. Yes? Which is also a mildly malefic house, the 3rd house. Then the results will be like you have to make efforts. You have to if you're using the energy of the 8th lord, if you're doing some research investigation, so the results will be whatever I'll tell you. But sometimes the 8th lord in your chart, it can also be your ascendant lord. Ascendant lord is the lord of the Kendra or even Trikona, because first house is not just the Kendra, it's also the Trikona, Dharma Trikona house. So then definitely if you are making efforts, you can get better results. Okay, so if the 8th lord may also be the lord of another house, so then if it is also the house of if it is also the lord of a Kendra or Trikona house, then definitely if you really make efforts, if you go to the depth of things, do research and hard work, then you can get good results, and then the negative results will get diminished. Anyway, and always I get comments, ma'am, my planet is retrograde, what will happen if the 8th lord is retrograde, if the 8th lord is combust, if the 8th lord is debilitated? All these comments I keep getting. Now this is actually an analysis of what can happen if the 8th lord is in a certain house. So more or less you will experience those results. Yes, but specifically you want to know the planet is retro, then I have to see where the 12th aspect of the retrograde planet is falling, in which house. Okay, so all those things have to be seen. So even if it is retro, even if it is combust, debilitated, you don't have to be worried. You will experience more or less these results which I'm going to discuss. Alright, okay. Now friends, 8th lord in the first house. When it is in the first house is the house of your body, mind, soul, your entire life. Then now 8th lord is coming to your first house, so definitely your life will have to go through a lot of, you will go through a lot of upheavals and ups and downs in life. It can happen. Those upheavals, ups and downs can transform your life, okay, for the better or otherwise, depending upon the strength of the 8th lord in the first house. If it is aspected by benefics, then those trials, tribulations, problems, upheavals will transform you and will transform your fortune for the better. So depends how it is placed in the first house, okay. If malefics are there, then definitely there will be a lot of struggle. You'll have to face a lot of obstacles in life, and you will have to really work hard in order to become, fortunate, or in order to achieve your goal in life. You have to face a lot of obstacles. This can happen. Now 8th lord in the first house, this can show that you could be very intuitive by nature, very secretive also. You can have a great analytical bent of mind also. You can be very intelligent actually, if it is more or less well placed. So you can go into the occult, astrology, tarot. You can any field of occult knowledge. All right. You can also you may also undertake travel. Yes, because 8th lord carries with itself the Scorpio energy, which is a water sign. So you may undertake travel. You may definitely travel to a foreign place. It's possible. All right. Now 8th lord is in your first house, so it can also show that you may be into any field which is of profession, which is connected to investigation, research. Any field of investigation or research, it could be, okay. So you could be a lawyer, you could be a data scientist, chartered accountant, you could be an occultist, you could be even a doctor, doctor, even surgeon. You could be in the field of law, and in whichever field you need to go to do research, investigation. All these fields will be good for you actually, okay. And the 8th lord has come how many houses away? If it is in the first house, the 8th lord is in the first house. So 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 6 houses away. Yes, the 8th lord is 6 houses away from its original house. So you can really do well in the field of law, in the field of medicine or healthcare. So these fields will be good for you. If 8th lord is in the first house, if it is somehow getting afflicted, you may have health issues, some disease, some health issue. It could even be some long-term disease also. So you need to take care of yourself, your health also, okay. Then you need to definitely seek medical advice, maintain a proper routine life and all that. Yeah. Then you may have conflicts with people. It is also possible. So stay away from conflicts, okay. That can cause trouble, okay. Yeah. So first house is part of the dharma trine, okay. So it is a trine of duty, knowledge. It is a trine of your inherent nature. So you will have that inherent, it will be your nature to question things. You may not be a total conformist. You will have a tendency to question tradition, to question religion, and you may have a very different take on things, on religion, philosophy. So yeah, this can happen when the 8th lord is in the first house. You will have a tendency to you will not take whatever is given to you whatever is handed down to you by tradition. You will not take it for granted. You will question, you will analyze things, and you will go to the depth of things. It's possible. Okay? So that is why if it's very good if you use that energy which you have, the energy to probe things, the energy to go to the depth of things and analyze things and do research. Use that energy in any field of investigation, research. You could be a detective, you could be in the intelligence department, you could be a secret agent, any field of profession which is connected with secrecy, confidentiality, any field of anything which is, going after any field of knowledge which is mysterious, mystical, occult, so like that. Okay? Yeah. Now let's move on to what will happen when the 8th Lord will be in the 2nd house. When the 8th Lord goes to the 2nd house, it is 7 places away from its original house. Okay, 7 places away, the 8th Lord has gone. So what does it show? That it is in your 2nd house of wealth. So some obstacles you may encounter in gaining wealth. Okay, suppose you were even you were supposed to get some inheritance, you were supposed to inherit some property, but there could be obstacles. Yes, and so 8th Lord in the 2nd house, all these obstacles you can face in gaining wealth in life, in accumulating wealth. This can happen. Now 8th Lord in the 2nd house, it can show that you may be away from your family. Alright, it's possible. Or it can show that you could have certain restrictions in food. It's possible. 8th Lord in the 2nd house, it can also show that a native may get into trouble because of their speech. So you need to be very careful. Their speech, their moral principles and values. So their principles and values. So you need to be careful about what you speak, about what principles you follow in life. They may actually make you land in trouble. It's also possible. Okay, so this will happen when the 8th Lord is aspected by malefics in the 2nd house. It can happen. Now, but if it is well posited, more or less, then you can gain from sudden gains from stocks and shares, from a lottery, then sudden gain because of inheritance of property. Then you can accumulate wealth because of joint assets with your spouse after marriage. So these things can happen. Now, anyway, if you are into any field of research, investigation, if you're into the occult, if you're into psychology, so any of these fields, so for research, investigation, by that I mean medicine, law, everything. So these fields can enable you to gain money. That is also, if you're going towards these fields, any of these fields, then you can gain money from that. Okay? And you could also, if it is not well posited, you may have to face loss of money. Okay, certain family relationships may also be troubled, or they may come to an end. That is also possible. Okay, now, so all these things we can say. The 2nd house is part of the Earth trine. 8th Lord is a planet which carries with itself, or which carries the energy of obstacles and challenges. So Earth trine, second house is the Earth trine, the trine of materialistic pursuits. So you may encounter obstacles in accumulating resources in life. Okay, you want to work hard, you want to gain in profession, you want to gain money because of your profession, but you may encounter obstacles there, challenges there. It's possible. Okay, so what you need to do is, you really need to, whatever work you are doing, no, so you need to really focus on your work properly. You need to go to the depth of things and do research properly. Yes, then you will get good results. Because you have to always remember that the 8th house in the natural zodiac is connected to Saturn and Mars. So these two planets, no, they are both connected to means they will give you results, but especially Saturn in the 8th house is there. So that means you have to continuously keep exploring things. You have to continuously then over time, when you are engaged in such practices, when you are really focusing on your work, and you are over time, you can get sudden good results, which Mars can show. Mars is also connected to the 8th house. That means you have to go on. Miraculous things also can happen, but for that you need focus. Actually, you have to focus. There is no alternate path. So that's what. So when you have the 8th lord in the 2nd house, it is a very good placement if you are into any field which is connected to, like chartered accountancy, taxation, anything, or any research field, or any investigation. For that it is very good actually. Okay, yeah. So means whatever work you are doing, you have to really, don't do it superficially. Go to the depth of things. Challenges may come, but stick to it. And there may be changes, there may be problems, obstacles, but stick to your ability to really focus on your work. That's very important. Now let's move on to the 8th lord in the 3rd house. This is generally, it can give you good results if you are, again, 3rd house is the house of efforts and hard work. So if you go on focusing on your work, you make use of your skills, any kind of skills you may have, creative, artistic skills that you have. So use all your skills. 3rd house is also the skills connected to the use of hands. So make use of your skills, and you can also see sudden growth in life. That is possible. That is a positive thing actually. If you go on, you never give up, go on focusing on your efforts, then suddenly you may end up gaining a lot of money, recognition, and you can become prosperous. Otherwise, what will happen when the 8th lord is in the 3rd house? It is not more or less well placed, and 3rd house is originally ruled by Mercury. So Mercury, Mars are again connected to the 3rd house in the natural zodiac. Then see how Mercury is also placed in the chart. Then if it is not well placed, if the 8th lord is also not well placed, if it is not being aspected by benefics, and instead if it is aspected by malefics, then whatever efforts you will do, those efforts you will never, they are not going to be rewarded so much. You may take some initiative, and whenever you go to take some initiative, you may encounter obstacles in life. This is possible. Okay, so you may be confused, you may be interested in something, some hobby, some skill, you may be interested in acquiring something, some skill, but then again you may change your track. You may get disinterested and you may lose interest. Again you may you may move towards something else. You may try to acquire some other skill. That is also possible. Okay, you may not know on what you have to focus. So if it is not well placed, then you will get such results. You will be confused. So what skills you really need to acquire, what kind of efforts you really need to make in order to become successful and fortunate, you will not know that. But if it is more or less well placed, then it can make you, it is the house of communication skills. You could, if you move into any field of research, investigation, then you can really make use of that, those skills. If you go into any field of research investigation, you can become very fortunate. Then any field of research investigation, the field of occult, the field of medicine, the field of law, any field which is connected to research investigation, chartered accountancy, secret agency, anything, then you will do well. Meditation, yoga. Okay, so then you're doing then 8th lord in the 3rd house and is there, and you will you will become fortunate and prosperous. Okay, so that's what you have to figure out, what should be the purpose of your life. You could be a very good healer, means counselor, more than a counselor, even healer also. Through your words, through communication also you can heal people. Even healer, but counselor, you could be into counseling. You could be a psychologist, very good psychologist. Yes, so if it is well placed, then all these good results you will get. Now 8th lord has moved how many houses away? 8 houses away. So yeah, from the Bhavadbhavam concept, the 3rd house is 8th from the 8th house. So in a way it is negative. Two negatives, when they come together, it can make positive. Okay, so that means if you really focus on your work, you go to the depth of things, do investigation, research properly into whichever field you are. You may be in any field, but you are going to the depth of things. You are trying to be creative. Okay, and you are exploring things on your own. Then you will see, you will get good results over time. Challenges can be there. Yes, challenges can be there, but you have to overcome those challenges. And it is your spirit, actually, your spirit, perseverance. Okay, and also your passion combined with perseverance. That is the secret. That will enable you to become successful and fortunate over time. And that will enable you, and your efforts also will be rewarded over time. You have to be ready to face all obstacles and challenges. Okay, then you will see, you will do very well. 3rd house is also part of the Kama Trikona, the trine of desires. So it is, you have to really have the desire to focus on your efforts so that you can gain from your endeavors. So that unitary focus, that it's like, you can say, a one-track mind. When you're only focusing on something, you're not able to see anything else. So no distractions, nothing. Then nobody can stop you from attaining success and prosperity actually. If you can't figure out what should be the purpose of your life, or what should be, what efforts you need to make, or what line of profession you need to choose, if you're confused, then you can seek the help of some guru or a teacher or guide, or even astrologer. Now let's move on to what will happen when the 8th lord will be in the 4th house. Your mother's health or life may undergo ups and downs. Okay, you may be away from your mother, it's possible. 4th house is the house of home, peace of mind. Some lack of peace of mind, some stress, tension can be there. Okay, especially when you are at home, there could be a sense of fear, insecurity, tension, stress. It's possible. 8th lord in the 4th house. Conflicts, even violence. It could even point towards domestic violence. Okay, so these things may characterize a native's home when the 8th lord is in the 4th house. It will be better if you can move away from your homeland. That could be better for you. Okay, whenever you go to buy some property or asset, you may encounter obstacles. This is possible. All right, your mother may be into spirituality or occult field. That is also possible. Your mother may be into any sort of investigation, research, any field connected to investigation or research. 8th lord in the 4th house. The 8th lord has moved. Okay, how many houses? If it is in the 4th house, 2, 3, 4, yeah, 9 houses. It has moved 9 houses from its own placement. Yes. So when it has moved 9 houses away from its original placement, that means if you move towards any field of study which is connected to the occult, you will, or any field of study which is connected with research, investigation, that will be very good for you, that can make you fortunate. Yes, 8th lord has moved 9 houses from its own placement. Yes, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4. So you can become 9, so you can become fortunate, or you can acquire higher education, higher knowledge in any field of study which is connected with investigation, research. You can, if you use your intuition, because 4th house is again part of the trine of moksha, and 4th house is also connected to water sign, because we have the sign of Cancer there originally. So 4th house is also the trine, a part of the trine of intuition, creativity. So if you are making use of your intuition, your creativity, if you are moving towards any field of study which is connected to research, investigation, then it will be very good for you. When you have the 8th lord in the 4th house, you can become a very good Vastu expert. When you have Vastu consultant, when you have 8th lord in the 4th house, you can go into any field of occult study also, because this is the trine, part of the trine of 4th house of intuition. Yes, so it could be psychology, occult, any field. Okay, Yeah. So all these results you can expect when the 8th lord will come to the 4th house. So be absorbed, be absorbed in your study. 8th lord in the 4th house, in your childhood maybe you had health issues. It can show that you had to suffer because of health issues in your childhood. So just as you grow up, the native should focus on any field of study which is connected to intuition, to the use of intuition, research, investigation. Then the native will get good results over time and can become fortunate and prosperous in life. Yeah. So now let's move on to what will happen when the 8th lord will be. So if you go away from your home, either for age, when the 8th lord is in the 4th house, if you go away from your home for higher studies, it will be very good actually. If you get the opportunity, then you should go away from your home to a different place, either to a different state within the country, to a foreign place. You go somewhere for higher education, or if you get a job, or maybe after marriage you go to a different place, then that will be very good for you. Now let's move on to what will happen when the 8th lord will be in the 5th house. When the 8th lord is in the 5th house, obstacles in education. 5th house is the house of knowledge, education, especially even high school, college education. Okay. But if your field of study is connected to psychology, then you will get good results. If it is connected to psychology, medical science, or even engineering, then you will get good results. Your field of study is connected to law, you will get good results. So any field of study which is connected to research, investigation, analysis, scientific analysis, so field of study is connected to any of that, you will get good results. By the way, this is a very good placement for becoming an astrologer, healer, for going into any field of the occult. Tarot reading, it's a very good placement for that. You can heal people with your occult knowledge, because you can also have great intuition when the 8th lord is in the 5th house. It is possible. But yes, if you fall in love with somebody, you have a romantic partner, you can be distanced from your partner. The relationship with your partner, romantic partner, either might end or you will be distanced eventually from your loved one. It's possible. With your children, you may have problems. Your child may go away from you. That is possible. Okay. So if they go away for education, higher education or job, then it is okay. Otherwise, again, you may also have, if it is not well placed, difference of opinion and problems and conflicts with your child. Somehow you could be distanced from your child. When the 8th lord is in the 5th house, then that's what you have to, you can acquire prosperity, name and fame also, if you move into any field of study which is connected to research, investigation, to the occult, etc., to law also, medicine, etc. Even chartered accountancy and all. Now 8th lord in the 5th house, the 8th lord has moved 10 places from its original house. 10 places. Okay, that is why if profession is connected to any of these fields, which any field which is connected to research, investigation, then you will become very prosperous and you could be very famous also. Okay. But profession has to be connected with any such field which is connected with exploration of hidden knowledge and all. You could do very well as a psychologist also. Now 8th lord in the 5th house. The 5th house is part of the dharma trine. Again, you may have the tendency, you may have that propensity to question religion, tradition. You will never take anything for granted, so you will question if any custom is followed, any ritual is followed. You will not follow that actually blindly. Okay, you will question its meaning, its significance, because you can have a very analytical bent of mind if you have the 8th lord in the 5th house. Okay, so yeah, that you will have a very different take on things. You will have a very unique way, a very creative way of looking at things. Actually, it can make you very intuitive, even secretive also. Your personality could be someone, you could be looked upon as someone secretive, mysterious, strange. That is also possible. Okay, yeah, if it is not well placed, then challenges in becoming fortunate in life. There could be challenges, problems in your relationship with your father also, if it is not well placed, with your child, with your father, and encountering obstacles in getting obstacles in being rewarded because of your work. So all these obstacles can come about if it is not well placed in the 5th house. But if it is more or less well placed, you can get very good results. And this is a beautiful placement for going into any field of work which is connected to investigation, research, and the occult. Okay? Yeah. So now let's move on to the 8th lord in the 6th house. So the 8th lord has moved now 11 places from its original placement. 11 places. So 8th lord, 8th lord carries with itself the energy of obstacles and problems and challenges. Now those obstacles, it is 11 places away from it. So those obstacles can really heighten, and you may really face challenges. Though it is a Viparit Raj Yoga, but Viparit means Viparit or adverse circumstances have to be there in your life first, and only then you will be able to overcome them. If that also your ascendant lord is well placed, or moon is well placed in the chart, only then you will be able to overcome those adverse circumstances, those problematic circumstances. You can overcome them, and finally you can come out of that adversity and you can become victorious. So Viparit Raj Yoga means, Viparit means untoward, undesirable, adverse situations or circumstances will be there first. So it is never think that it is Viparit Raj Yoga, so it is a Raj Yoga, so nothing will happen. I will always, all my, anything, I will easily come out of it. Because 8th lord in the 6th house is the house of loans, diseases, disputes. So something, all these things can happen, any of these things I will easily get away. No, easily you will not get away, you have to fight back. You can get away, that also if your moon or ascendant lord is strong, means then only you will have that energy to fight back actually. That's what you have to understand. So obstacles, a native with this placement, the 8th lord in the 6th house, especially if the 8th lord in the 6th house is not associated with benefics, and it is becoming a little not so well placed. If that happens, especially if aspected by malefics and all, any planet which is casting a very negative influence from outside, if that happens, the native may suffer from diseases. The native may have problems because of loans. The native may have health issues. The native may have disputes, problems with people, may enter into conflicts with people. So you will be able to come out of these things if you are mentally strong, if you have that energy, that willpower to fight back rightfully. Then only the Viparit Raj Yoga will give you good results, when you have the 8th lord in the 6th house. So look at your ascendant lord or moon in your chart. If they are also afflicted or weak, then do the remedies for the ascendant lord or moon, so that any problematic circumstances you have to face, you have that energy to fight back. So if you fight back, if you really are brave enough, courageous enough to face all obstacles, and if you are fearless in the face of obstacles and you know that I can overcome them, if you have that strength of mind, you know what to do at a certain given time. Like if there is a, God forbid, there is any sort of crisis in your life, you know how to act quickly and rightly. If you know that, then you will be able to come out of your problems. Okay, so you need to act, you need to strive, you need to really face challenges and never give up. Okay, so it may take time, it could be some long-term disease or long-term conflict, a long-term loan, so it may take time. But if you are a fighter and you say that no, I am not going to give up, then nobody can defeat you. You will come out victorious, and then the Viparit Raj Yoga will be fructified, especially during the Dasha, Antardasha. So whatever Dasha you may be running, Mahadasha, I am talking about Vimshotri Mahadasha, but the Antardasha or Pratyantar Dasha will keep coming, no? So that's why we say that the ascendant lord or moon, they have to be strong. Then this Viparit Raj Yoga will be functional in your life. Okay? Now, the 6th house is the house of the Artha trine. It is part of the trine of materialistic pursuits. So obstacles in day-to-day work, in job, change of job, when you have the 8th lord in the 6th house. So all these problems can come. Obstacles, problems in health, okay, conflicts with people and all, which can also make you land in trouble. Okay, so all these things. Obstacles in attaining wealth in life, all these obstacles will be there, but you have to overcome. So again, when the 8th lord is in the 6th house, then definitely you can gain if you are moving again into the field of research, investigation. If this is a very good placement for becoming a lawyer, doctor, for being into healthcare. Okay, so this is a very good placement for all that. Yes. So yeah, be an investigator, researcher. So, or on a daily basis you you may encounter challenges in your work or something, but you have to you may fall, but you have to get up. You may stumble, you may fall, but you have to get up and never give up. So that is the secret actually. Okay, so yeah, so if it is well placed, then it can make a person very intuitive, because 6th house is again the house where we have the sign of Virgo, ruled by Mercury, and even Mars is also significator of the 6th house. So this house actually is connected to your intelligence, to your in-depth insights, to your analytical ability also, 6th house. So there you have the 8th lord. 8th lord is also connected to research, investigation, analysis. So you see, that can make the person very intelligent. So when you are moving into research, investigation, law, medicine, any field where you're using your analytical insights, your ability to look at details, a detail oriented approach, when you go to analyze something, especially in the field of law, or even when you are in any field which is connected to research. So that will give you very good results actually when you have the 8th lord in the 6th house. Okay, and that will make you gain wealth, prosperity over time. So it is basically your ability to use your intellectual power along a certain direction in analyzing things, going to the depth of things, so that you can explore something new, or you can continue with your research, investigation, acquisition of knowledge, and continue with your in-depth study. So that can give you good results, okay, when you have the 8th lord in the 6th house. Now let's move on to the 8th lord in the 7th house. It has moved 8th lord in the 7th house. 12 houses, 12 places away from its own house. Okay, so 8th lord has come to the 7th house. So you could be distanced from your partner or spouse. This is possible. Okay, some problems could be there in marital life. But if you are in a long distance relationship with your spouse, then it can be good for your relationship or marriage. Suppose you are in a long distance relationship and you meet once in a blue moon, say after every 3 months or 4 months you meet, and again you move apart because both of you are maybe working in different places, and this is a long distance relationship, then it can be good for your marriage. Okay, now 8th lord has come to the 7th house. So you could have problems with your business partner. Okay, it's possible. If you're into independent business, ups and downs in your business can happen. So better not to do. If you're into business, don't do that with any partner. Do your business on your own. That is better. Okay, and you will do well in your business only if you are conducting thorough research and investigation of that particular field with which your business is connected. So do that research, investigation properly. That will be good for your business, and do it on your own. If for your business you travel to foreign land, it could be very good for your business. If you undertake foreign travel for your business, it will be good. Come about with interesting insights. Use your creativity in your business. That will make your business, reach a different level, and that will enable you to bring about a positive transformation in your business, which can also transform, in turn it can transform your life. So that positive transformation in your business will come when you adopt a unique approach, a very creative approach to things. And that creative approach or unique approach will definitely be linked to your ability to do research, investigation on your own. Now, and also to explore and maybe take your business to another level by traveling to different places or using online technology for your business and so on. Now, as far as marital life is concerned, if the eighth lord has come to the 7th house, it can show that eighth lord, that means conflicts with your spouse, that is possible. Okay, interference of your in-laws in your marriage. Okay, in the relationship with your spouse also, your in-laws might interfere, that is also possible. Now, 8th lord in the 7th house, if it is well posited, then you may inherit property after marriage, that is also possible. Some joint assets with your spouse after marriage you may gain if it is well posited in the 7th house. Okay, now 7th house is part of the trine of desires. It is the Kama Trikona, 7th house. So, and also the trine which is connected to the use of intelligence. Why? Because in the Kama trine you have all air signs in the natural zodiac. Gemini, Libra and Aquarius, they are all air signs. So making use of your intelligence in dealing with whether it is your life partner, whether it is your business partner or business. So you need to actually, this is the Kama trine. Okay, but if you make use of your intelligence and if you feel that I have to, I am right and I can see through everything and I will not compromise, and when you are making use of your intelligence and you are not actually, you're using your head too much in relationship, then it is going to be a problem because it can lead to further conflicts with your spouse. Make use of your head in business, not so much in relationship. In relationship, we need to make use of our heart. We need to have emotions. We need to let go at times, and we need to be forgiving, accommodating. Okay, we need to believe in compromise. Then a relationship will work. Okay, but if you are so that's what. So when the 8th lord is there, because you are very analytical. Now 8th lord is a planet which is a planet of analysis, using the intelligence and going to the depth of things and analyzing everything. So that approach if you have towards your marriage, then definitely there will be conflicts with your partner. So that tendency, to look at everything so logically and analytically and critically, that tendency you have to curb. You have to kind of minimize that tendency. Otherwise, conflicts with spouse will go on escalating. And God forbid, if it escalates to a certain level, then it can also lead to the end of the relationship. That is also possible. That is why when you have the 8th lord in the 7th house, a lot of upheavals in your ups and downs in your relationship with your spouse, somehow if you're able to manage, then it will be okay. Somehow if both of you are able to arrive at some compromise, otherwise it could even end in separation. The marriage can even end that way. Alright? So but if you're using your analytical skills in your independent business, then you will do very well. And your business will see growth and positive transformation. Okay? So 8th lord in the 7th house. Now let's move on to 8th lord in the 8th house. The lord of the 8th house is in its own house. Again, this could be a blessing in disguise, and this is also definitely Viparit Raj Yoga, because all your problems, sorrow, difficulties, pain, adversities, challenges, obstacles can come to an end. Actually, that is possible. Okay, but 8th house is not just the house of death, it is also the house of longevity. So if 8th lord is in the 8th house, and if it is not connected with benefics, or if the ascendant lord is weak, then it can also give you health issues, and some health problem, some suffering due to some long-term disease. Anything can happen. If the ascendant lord has to be well placed, and moon, ascendant lord or moon, or both have to be well placed, then you will get the results of this Viparit Raj Yoga, which you will see because of 8th lord in the 8th house. Okay, and then problems will come, challenges will come, but you will overcome them. You will come out of your problems, whether it is disease, whether it is any sort of obstacles in life, any sort of pain, you will be able to come out of that. And over time, because you are a fighter, no? This will happen when the ascendant lord and moon, they are strong. Okay, so ascendant lord and moon are strong, then definitely you will get these results. Okay, so yeah, now friends, 8th lord in the 8th house, this is a very good placement for getting into any field of occult knowledge, or it is a very good placement it can make you very intuitive, because the lord of the 8th house is in the house itself. So you can be very, very intuitive. You may have a great ability to solve mysteries. You can see through things. You can be very analytical, insightful. Okay, because that planet, the lord of the 8th house, is in its own house, so it will have a lot of strength now. So definitely you can go into meditation, yoga, into the occult. Yes, you can be a healer. So definitely, so you can go into any of these things. You can go into any field which is connected to research, investigation, any field of study which is connected to all of that, technology, engineering, even chartered accountancy. So in those fields you can also go. Now 8th lord in the 8th house, but somehow if the 8th lord will have some connection with the 10th house or 10th lord or Saturn, then if you are moving towards all these fields, like they can make you even more successful into any of these fields. But nevertheless, I have seen that because the 8th lord, so because 8th lord is a planet which is connected definitely with intuition also, because in the natural 8th house you have the sign of Scorpio, which is a water sign. It is the sign of intuition. Scorpio is a water sign, so intuition, it is the sign of creativity. Okay, so definitely, because you see 8th lord is in the 8th house, it is also aspecting directly your 2nd house of wealth. Yes, it is aspecting your 2nd house of wealth. So if you move into any of these fields also which I mentioned, you can gain wealth from that actually, because you are somebody who is also by default somebody, you are someone who is very analytical, someone who is very secretive, mysterious. Yes, so you have that within you actually, and especially when the 8th lord has some connection with the ascendant lord or moon, so definitely you will be someone, or even sun, you will have great analytical bent of mind, even Jupiter. Yes, so like that. So that is a very good combination then. You can go towards any field of study which is connected to research, investigation, to the occult, to law, to the field of law, medicine. You can be a surgeon. So all these fields will be good, and you can earn money also. Yes. Now 8th Lord in the 8th house, you could have problems in relationship with your in-laws. This can happen. You could be 8th Lord in the 8th house. So yeah, either you could be away from your in-laws, or problems with your in-laws may be there. Okay? Or in-laws may not be there at all, because 8th Lord in the 8th house. Okay? Then 8th Lord in the 8th house. So if it is well placed, then you can gain family inheritance. You can gain from, you know, the joint assets with your spouse. That can enable you to accumulate wealth also over time, if it is well posited. If not well posited, then you may encounter obstacles in gaining inheritance. This is possible. Okay? So you have to see how the planet is placed in the 8th house. So yeah, so any problem, any health issue, any problem, any difficulty, any suffering, because this is also Viparit Raj Yoga, you can eventually come out of those problems, especially during the Dasha, Antardasha, or any Dasha of the Vimshotri Dasha. I am talking about of the 8th Lord. And this will happen when the Ascendant Lord or Moon are well placed. Now let's move on to the 8th Lord in the 9th house. So again, 9th house is the house of higher education, and it is second house from the 8th house. So just 2 places away from its original house. So you can gain. Second house is always the gain. So you can gain from occult knowledge. If you're into occult knowledge, if you acquire higher studies in occult, or if you move into, you know, if you really want to do more research, exploration, and in the field of occult knowledge, in the field of law, medicine, any field you really want to do a lot of research, investigation, that is going to be very good for your higher knowledge. It is going to be very good for your fortune, because 9th house is the house of fortune. You will become more and more fortunate if you are moving into any field of study which is connected to research, investigation, exploring the unknown, mysterious, hidden. It could be anything. It could be chartered accountancy, it could be taxation, it could be occult, it could be medical science, anything. Research, investigation, even law. So like that. So these fields will benefit you a lot, or any field of study. If you're really a research person, a data scientist, any researcher, you're doing any sort of research, so that will benefit you a lot actually. You can also benefit from being into administration. So if you're into administration, so you can become fortunate if you're into any field of administration also. Okay. Now if it is not so well placed in the 9th house, then you may have differences of opinion with your father, or somehow you'll be distanced from your father. That is possible. But if it is more or less well placed, then initially you may have differences with your father, but eventually you will come to understand your father better, and your relationship with your father will undergo a positive transformation. Okay? So 8th Lord in the 9th house. So whenever you go to undertake some foreign travel, you may encounter obstacles. This may happen. If you go to a foreign land, you may fall sick there. That is also possible. Some problem you may encounter. You go to a foreign land and foreign place, or a different place altogether. There you may get into conflicts with somebody. There could be some trouble there. That is also possible. Okay, or you go to a foreign place, foreign land, it can transform your life once and for all. That is also possible. You undertake a travel to a foreign land, and you know that experience has transformed you altogether. That is also possible. So especially when 9th house and 12th house, they have connection, then you may go to a foreign land and settle down there. So your life will be transformed once and for all. That is also possible. Okay, your higher knowledge will transform you. It will change your life. If well placed, definitely it will change your life for the better, and knowledge will always transform your life for the better. You may have a tendency to question your own religion. That this is possible when you have the 8th lord in the 9th house. Whatever your teachers tell you, your guru even, gurus, I'm talking about the teachers. So whatever they tell you, you may have a tendency to question that. You may not agree with them. That's possible. Okay, you may have a totally different take on things. That is possible when you have the 8th lord in the 9th house, because again 9th house is part of the dharma trine. Your inherent nature will be such that you will be very inquisitive, very analytical, very critical bent of mind you will have. You will not take anything for granted. You will not believe in anything just on the basis of its face value. No. You will go to the depth of things and analyze everything on your own, unless you are satisfied, until you are satisfied. So because you have that tendency to conduct research, investigation, analysis. Okay, so if you have such an analytical bent of mind, such a critical bent of mind, then you can do very well if you're into any field of research, investigation. You can do very well. You can definitely, as an occultist, as a healer, you can get into counseling. You can be a very good psychologist, by the way, if you have 8th lord in the 9th house. You can be a very successful psychological counselor. So all these placements, a very successful astrologer, occultist, counselor. Okay, when you have 8th lord in the 9th house. But for getting into counseling, you have to do, your counseling work, it has to involve investigation, research. On the basis of that, you can heal people, you can offer counsel to people, and you will be a very good consultant. You can be a very good healer and occultist, and even definitely this placement, because you could be a very good lawyer, even doctor. So all these placements, because any field of higher knowledge which is connected to research, investigation, you can definitely get fortunate if you enter into any such field. Okay, yeah. So yeah, because it is your inherent nature actually. That is what you are basically. You want to analyze things. You have that ability to analyze things deeply, and you're very critical, very analytical. So you have that bent of mind. Okay, so when you use that, definitely in your work, nobody can stop you from becoming successful and prosperous. Now let's move on to what will happen when the 8th lord will be in the 10th house. Let me go to the positive things first. Again, your profession, if it is connected to any field of study or any field of work which is connected to research, investigation, you will do very well in your profession. The 8th lord has moved 3 places from its original placement. 3 places. So you may encounter obstacles also in your profession. Okay, so there could be change in your profession. 8th lord in the 10th house. You may be following a certain line of profession, and then you may change your profession after some years. You may adopt a totally different profession altogether. This is possible when you have the 8th lord in the 10th house. Okay, So initially one may feel that there is no stability in work life or job life, so you may keep changing your jobs, profession, and then finally you may arrive somewhere. This will happen when the 8th lord is more or less well placed in the 10th house. Then finally you will finally end up making a certain decision in your professional life, which is going to transform your profession, which is going to transform your social status, your life altogether. So if 8th lord is more or less well placed in the 10th house, especially if Mars is there, and if Mars is well placed, especially being aspected by Jupiter, or just an example, or any planet, if it is well placed there, then transformation in your life, a positive transformation for the better. Okay, so finally the decision that you will make in your profession, that yes, I have to go along this direction, so this is my career path. Okay, so that will enable you that will ultimately transform your professional life for the better. Okay, so when you have 8th lord in the 10th house, you may be very confused initially. You may not know that what should I do. You may keep changing your work or job. That is possible. So finally you have to decide on what you really want to do. So when the 8th lord is well placed in the 10th house, then you will be able to decide. You will be able to decide and figure out what you are actually meant to do. Okay, if it is not well placed, then the person may be confused. What work they need to do, they don't know. You may have to travel to a different place for your work. That will be again good for your work. If you go to a different place, foreign place for work, it will be good. Okay, so if you're confused, if you don't know, if you keep changing jobs, then you need to seek the guidance of some guru, some counselor or astrologer. Okay, yeah. Now 8th lord in the 10th house. 10th house is part of the earth trine, the trine of materialistic pursuits. So in order to, on a day-to-day basis, if you're focusing on your research, investigation in your job, if you're doing your work very well, if you're going to the depth of things, and if you're analyzing everything and doing well, then definitely if you are if you have that originality, creativity to come up with new things in your job or professional life, then you will grow. Then you will grow in your professional life. So yeah, so you have to come up with new things. Okay, so you have to make use of your creativity, originality in your work, and then you will see, you will prosper in your work, and you will end up gaining wealth because of your work. Okay, so that's what. So I hope you know 8th lord in the 10th house, all those fields which are connected to the 8th house, the field of occult, the field of law, the field of medicine, the field of chartered accountancy, audit, taxation, even insurance. Okay, insurance business, or if you're an insurance agent, then if you are dealing with if you are into any field of research, psychology, so if any of these things is connected to your profession, it will be very good. Okay, if your profession is connected to any field which has something to do with uncovering the hidden, mysterious, mystical, secretive. That will be very good. So 8th Lord in the 10th house, you could be into administration also. You can be a very good administrator. Okay, you have to be, understand the depth of things. You have to understand the confidentiality of matters, and you could be a diplomat. You could be into administration, even politics also. Especially if the 10th house is connected with Rahu, well placed Rahu and Sun also, then definitely you can get into politics, administration also. All these things can happen when you have the 8th Lord in the 10th house. If not so well placed, then your social image may be such, a person's public image or social image may be such that he may come across as someone who's very mysterious. People may perceive you as somebody who's very secretive, mysterious. That is possible. Okay? No matter how they perceive you, you should actually focus on your work. Okay? Let work silently. Let your success make the noise. Let people think whatever they want. But especially if the 8th Lord is well placed in the 10th house, then you will not be much bothered about what people think about you, because you know that you are aloof, you are you have isolated yourself maybe to some extent because you are conducting some research, investigation, you have a mission, you know that. So then what people think, that is not going to matter to you. Yes? So all these, any of these fields if you go into, I think I have also mentioned about law and medicine. So any field of research and investigation, that will make you very successful in life. Okay? Alright. Now let's move on to what will happen. Yeah, and one more thing. 3 places away, so you have to make efforts, you have to be ambitious actually. Then 8th Lord in the 10th house. You have to be ambitious about, there could be a change of decision regarding your profession, never mind, but finally stick to what you have decided, and you have to be ambitious. You have to have the desire to chase your goals, professional goals. Then you will be successful when you have the 8th Lord in the 10th house. Now let's move on to 8th Lord in the 11th house. When 8th Lord is in the 11th house, 8, 9, 10, 11, 4 places away from its original placement. Okay. 8th Lord is gone 4 places away. So, and 8th Lord is in the 11th house. So what does it mean? It means that definitely you could experience some mental stress, tension. That is possible. Okay? And also whenever you go to acquire some assets, you may encounter some obstacles. This is possible. When 8th Lord is in the 11th house, again it can show that 11th house is the house of your income. So some obstacles you may encounter in getting income from your work, or 11th house is connected to the rise of income also. So if some obstacles in getting promotion, some obstacles in the rise of income, some challenges you may experience, this is possible. Okay? Now 8th Lord in the 11th house. So that means what? Because of that, because of those challenges that you're experiencing in your income or in your growth in work or profession, so because of that, you may undergo mental stress and tension. Okay? So what you have to do now? Something we have to do. There is a problem, then we have to find a solution. Okay? We cannot just leave it at that, and we cannot just say that, oh, this is a problem, what can I do, I have nothing to do. No, We should not complain actually. Instead, we should get up and fight back. So the 8th Lord is connected to that spirit of fighting back. That's what you have to understand. So when you refuse to become a victim and you choose to become a fighter, your life takes a turn, a positive turn from there itself actually. That's what the 8th Lord wants us to do. The 8th Lord actually wants us to fight back. Okay? To not give up, to not surrender to obstacles and problems. We have to fight back. Otherwise, why we were born as human beings? Okay? We are gifted with that faculty of thinking. So we have to fight back. That should be your attitude. So when you have the 8th Lord in the 11th house, you should not give up actually. Okay? So 11th house is again the trine of desires. It is the part of the Kama Trikona. Okay? Now, your desires, 8th Lord is coming to the house of desires. Okay? So, you desire, definitely your desires, your goals in life. You want to accomplish your goals. You want to fulfill your desires. But you will encounter obstacles now. Then 8th Lord is there. What does the 8th Lord want you to do? You're encountering obstacles, so give up. No, that's not what you have to do. Obstacles will come. 11th house is a Upachaya house also. So you should not give up. Obstacles will be there. Whose life is free from obstacles, you tell me? Everybody encounters obstacles either in one area or another. If you are encountering obstacles in the 11th house area, someone else is encountering obstacles in some other area of their life. Okay? It could be health issue, it could be anything. So you have to understand that obstacles will come, but I have to face them. I have to face them no matter what, and I will not give up. Okay? If circumstances are not changing, then I will change myself. I will adapt to the changes. That should be your spirit actually. Okay? Something has to change. The circumstances are difficult, adverse. So initially you may think that, okay, let me wait. Along with time, maybe circumstances will become favorable. If circumstances don't change, then you change yourself. You change your attitude. You change your ability to deal with them. You become more adaptive. You learn how to adapt to the changing, problematic, adverse circumstances. That's what you have to do when you have the 8th Lord in the 11th house. And then you will see, when you have the right to face all challenges and you become a fighter, and then you will see, you will start rising from there, and you will see growth even in your income, and those obstacles also will have to vanish. They will vanish over time also. Why? Because now you are a fighter and you have decided that you are not going to give up. 8th Lord in the 11th house. 8th Lord is a planet which wants you to analyze situations deeply. Go to the depth of the matter. Why am I not getting a certain promotion? Why someone else has got? Why I did not get? Ask yourself. Okay, critically analyze the whole situation. You will get the answers. You have to somehow, 8th Lord wants you to go deep within yourself and find out and get the answers. And then you will see. you do some meditation. In some moment of meditation, you will get some insight that, okay, maybe I did not do my work sufficiently well. So this time I will do it well. So you have to figure out. Once you figure out what is the problem, you have to detect the problem. Once you detect what is the issue, and then you start working on it with patience, perseverance, and passion, nobody can stop you from overcoming obstacles. You will win over obstacles and you will come out victorious, and you will defeat obstacles and you will see a growth in your income and you will gain prosperity in life. That's what you have to do when you have the 8th Lord in the 11th house. Where am I lagging behind? I have to find out, I have to figure out. So I have to analyze what I have been doing. I have to analyze everything. Myself, I have to analyze my efforts, what efforts I need to make. I have to analyze my work, my field of work. So I have to go to the depth of things and analyze everything deeply so that I know where I need to make more efforts. Okay? What are my weak areas, weaknesses? I have to identify them. And then once I identify them, I will start working on them. And from there you will see growth in your income and prosperity. Now, definitely 11th house is the house of gains. So you can gain from any field or profession which is connected to research, investigation, like occult knowledge, like astrology, tarot, medicine, medical science, law, chartered accountancy, taxation, engineering, technology, data analysis, data scientist job, any kind of scientific investigation, research. If you're into that, that will help you gain. Remember, 11th house is originally the house of Aquarius, which is also connected to research. So when you conduct research, investigation, that will make you very successful in your profession. Okay? Challenges can come, you will overcome them, and you will see your ability to research, your ability to go to the depth of things and analyze things, your ability to carry out proper research and investigation will enable you to see growth in your income. It will really make you more prosperous in life, and you will definitely gain from all your efforts, endeavors. So definitely 11th house is the house of your goals, ambition, desires. It is the house of your gains. Okay? So if your ambition or desire or goals, if they are somehow connected to any field of work which has to do with investigation, research, then you will end up gaining a lot. You may be away from your elder siblings. It's possible. Or some conflicts with elder siblings. It's possible. Okay? You may at times feel distanced from the people in your social network. You may have some secretive relationship with somebody in your social circle. That is also possible, because 11th house is part of the Kama Trikona, the trine of desires. So some secretive relationship with somebody in your social circle, that is also possible. Okay? So yeah, so you will gain from your endeavors when you are into any field of work which is connected with research, investigation. So this will happen when the 8th Lord is in the 11th house. Okay, it is the trine of desires. You must have the desire to conduct research, investigation, to go to the depth of things, to analyze things. Okay, that will make you prosperous in life. But if you develop secretive relationship with somebody, that is not going to help you to rise in life. That could even lead to a fall or downfall. So be careful. Okay? Yeah. Instead, your energy, all that creative energy that you have within yourself. 8th Lord carries with itself sexual energy. It also carries with itself creative energy. So instead, use that creative energy to focus on your work, on your endeavors, so that you can fulfill all your desires, in life. Your desire to rise in life, your desire to gain prosperity in life. Alright? Okay, now let's move on to the final placement when the 8th Lord will be in the 12th house. The 8th Lord has moved 5 places away from its original placement, so acquiring knowledge in the field of occult, medicine, law, chartered accountancy, taxation, engineering, etc., technology. If you're acquiring knowledge in any of these fields, you will do very well. You will do very well. For your education, you may also have to travel to a different place, because 8th Lord has moved 5 places. Okay, so for your education, you may have to travel to a different place. That is also possible. Now 8th Lord in the 12th house, it is a very good placement for moving into spirituality, yoga, for moving into the occult, any research, investigation, anything. Okay, 8th Lord in the 12th house, you could also, 12th house is connected to Pisces, originally water sign. So you could be a writer of crime series, you could be a fictional writer of suspense thrillers and crime series. That is also possible. Detective fiction, you could get into detective fiction, because you will be very intuitive, very creative also when you have the 8th Lord in the 12th house. Okay, so it is a very good placement for doing any sort of spiritual practice, any sort of sadhana, even astral travel and all, but astral travel and all under the guidance of some guru. Okay, so any sort of spiritual practice, meditation, yoga, occult field of knowledge, etc. I mentioned a little while ago all that. Anything which is connected to research, investigation, psychologist. You can be a wonderful psychologist when you have 8th Lord in the 12th house. Okay, this is again Viparit Raja Yoga. So during the Dasha, Antardasha, any sort of Dasha of the 8th Lord, this Viparit Raja Yoga can be fructified if your ascendant Lord or moon is well placed in your chart. Okay, so then it will be fructified. Means you must have that willpower to fight back. Means Viparit Raja Yoga means adverse problematic circumstances, you will have to face them first. Some obstacles, some challenges, you will have to face them. So once you have that ability to face them, overcome them and fight back, then only those obstacles you will be able to overcome them, win over them, and you will be able to come out of your problem or suffering. That is Viparit Raja Yoga. So initially some problems, some health issue, any sort of problem can come up. It could be any obstacle in your life in the form of disease, in the form of it could be monetary, financial problems. Any problems can come about. Okay, problems in marital life, relationship problems. But if you have that ability to fight back, if you have that ability to analyze the situation properly and see if you can arrive at a certain compromise, especially if it is a relationship issue or something, then you will be able to come out of the problem. Okay, so 8th Lord in the 12th house, it is again 2 dusthanas or evil houses, in a way malefic houses. So negative is a positive, Yes. So you can come out of your problems, adverse circumstances, suffering, pain, tragedy. You can come out of everything. But then what you need is you need to have that ability to fight back. You need to have that analytical, critical bent of mind. Okay, you need to have that ability to see even your faults, your mistakes, how you need to improve yourself, self-introspection. Yes, how I need to improve myself for the better. So once you go deep within yourself through meditation, you analyze everything, then you'll be able to see the reality, and then when you act accordingly, you will see that you will be able to overcome your problems, your difficulties will all, you'll be able to come out of all of that. So all your suffering can vanish and can leave you actually. Okay, so you could have conflicts with people. Those conflicts also over time, when you develop a sense of maturity and everything, then you can come out of those conflicts. You can come out of all your suffering actually. So that is why it is a very good placement for going into meditation, spiritual practices. So when you go into any sort of meditation, spiritual practice, you connect with your inner self, your higher self, with divine energies. And you realize the value of forgiveness. You realize that you should let go. You should, you have to move on. Okay? This is just a journey. We are all undertaking a sort of journey. Okay, this is not final. This is not the final destination of the soul. The soul's final destination is union with the Almighty, with the Divine. So when you realize these higher truths, or when you're able to connect with some divine source of energy, and then you are able to, rise above narrow-mindedness, meanness, you're able to rise above all that, and you're able to forgive people, you're able to let go, you're able to move on, in life, in quest of divinity, in quest of the Lord, in quest of the divine. Okay, so that is actually your quest for self-realization. So this is a very good placement for that. So when you are somehow connected with the divine, when you are trying to attain self-realization, then definitely you will not focus on the petty conflicts, problems, even financial crisis or anything. These things will start seeming to be very petty, very small. Okay? But yes, if you have liabilities, duties towards somebody, towards your family, then you will have that knowledge, you will have that wisdom. You will know that yes, I have to somehow definitely, shoulder my responsibilities, my duties, whatever, I have to do all of that. Because if that is something I'm liable to do, I have to do that. Okay? Because we should not step back from our responsibilities. We have to. When you are truly knowledgeable, you will do that. When you are just thinking about your own self, then you will run away from your responsibilities, and you will say, oh, I want to attain self-realization or moksha, so I have nothing to do with these people who are in my family. That is not wisdom actually. So wisdom, or a balanced sense of judgment, or when really you will be blessed by Jupiter, you will know that yes, I will shoulder my responsibilities in whatever way I can, but I have already set out in quest of the divine. Okay, so you will have a very balanced approach then. Yes, and your meditation, your sadhana, your mantra chanting, your devotion towards the Almighty, so all that will give you happiness, joy, peace of mind. Okay, so all these things can happen when you have the 8th Lord in the 12th house. Okay, so definitely acquiring knowledge in any field of the occult or law or medicine, any field of research, investigation, you are trying to acquire some knowledge through investigation and research, you will do very well, if you have 8th Lord in the 12th house. Because this placement can make you highly intuitive, highly creative. You will have that power to see things which are not seen by other people. Other people may overlook, but you will have that depth of understanding to see things which are otherwise unseen, to feel things which are otherwise unfelt, okay, to hear things which are otherwise unheard, because you have that intuitive ability to connect with your inner self, to connect with the divine. So make use of your intuition. 12th house is a trine of moksha, liberation, self-realization, even intuition. Make use of your sense of intuition to connect with the divine through meditation, spiritual practices, through, in-depth research, investigation, through acquisition of knowledge. So do all of that, and then you will see that 8th Lord in the 12th house can give you very good results, okay? It will transform your life for the better. Actually, you were born in this lifetime so that you can undergo that transformation, and that positive transformation, that spiritual transformation, all right? So if afflicted, then a person may be obsessed with sex also. If 8th Lord is afflicted in the 12th house, because 12th house is the house also of bed pleasures. 8th Lord is connected with sex also. So if it is afflicted, then one may be obsessed with all that. Okay, one may have the tendency to, get violent, aggressive also in sex. That is also possible. So all these things may happen if it is afflicted. If it is well placed, then it can really make you a healer, a very good counselor, psychologist, an occultist. Okay, so all of these things, a very good researcher, yes, scientist, and so on. So friends, that was my take on the 8th Lord in the 12th house, and finally that's what I have to tell you about the 8th Lord in all 12 houses of your birth chart. If you want personal consultation, details are there in the video description. Please text or WhatsApp me, okay? And also friends, if you like, then please do share and subscribe. And if you want, and yes, one more thing, a gentle reminder that 8th Lord is the planet of intuition, secrecy, okay? It is the planet which carries with itself a lot of creative energy, transformational creative energy, okay? So may the 8th Lord, wherever the 8th Lord is placed in your chart, birth chart, may the 8th Lord never cause any harm to you. That is my earnest prayer. So be kind to the unprivileged, believe in charity, okay? And be kind to all creatures, all animals and birds. All right? So friends, that's what I wanted to say. Thank you.